start recording now. Okay, now. So taking it from where it stopped, talking about string. String is a very, very powerful data type. We can do a lot of manipulations. We can make use of of a lot of functions in string. So take for example, one of them is what I talk about, concatenation. Concatenation is a functionality of being able to add various strings together. So maybe I want to print my full name now. I can create a new variable called full name, and I'll just do first name. Then definitely I want a space between it, so I'll just do plus. So with the plus symbol, I can I can say plus last name. Then I will add a space between it also. Then I can add the last name, the middle name now. The middle name. Then I can then print. Let me print my full name. I can print my full name. So when I do that, as we can see, so with just that plus symbol, so it's not just doing arithmetic addition now at this point now, but it's adding them together, concatenating it. You know, I added a space, empty space here. I didn't have not done that. Let me cancel that. We will see everything all mobbled together. So if you see, as you can see now, so removing that raised a concern. So being able to add strings together is a functionality in that can be found in string in Python, being able to add various strings together. So it may not necessarily be named. Then another thing that we can actually see with strings is we talked about indexing in lists. If you can remember, I talked about, like, take for example, this type of data type. I know we are familiar with it, something like this. Let's say different fruit. I have cashew, then I have mango, then I also have banana. So now this a list that we are very, very familiar with in Python. That we're familiar with in Python. Now, for strings, now you know the upper we actually talked about that we can actually get the first or the second element by just doing maybe fruit. In this case now, I just do maybe fruit 0 now. I mean, I will get the first element. Then if I change it to 2 to 1, I will get the second. Then just like that. Now you can actually apply this functionality into string also. Take for example, from the example we have, first name, last name, middle name. I want to extract the initials in the first name and the middle name. Then I want it to come out as P.O. Joseph. P.O. Joseph. So we can actually do that. Now, this kind of functionality of indexing that is being found in lists, we can actually find it also in string. So take for example, the first name. Now I want to get O out of it. All I just have to do is just do first name, then using the square bracket, I'll just put 0. Now O is standing at 0 index, L is standing at 1, A is standing at 2, W 3, U 4, M 5, I 6. So if I want to get O, all I just have to do is just do this. As you can see, we've gotten O. So I can actually just say, okay, we are recording. We are recording, bro Emmanuel, we're recording. So so we can actually get the first element. As me, I want to get maybe the W now. I can then say maybe 3 now, as you can see. So some functionalities that are very, very powerful can be found in string. So that makes string a very powerful data type that is often being treated and specially explained when dealing with Python. So now with this, I can get the first initial. So I can just store whatsoever it is and say, okay, first initial. So I will store whatever is coming into a new variable and just say first initial. So that will extract the first element, the first alphabet in that first name. And I can do the same thing for the middle name. I will just say second initial, then I equate it to middle name, then the first element also. So I have those two now. Then I don't need to do anything with the last name. So there are some methods in string. So as it is, so let me just print it out. So if I want to print out the full name now, so I can just say full name as a new variable, then initials, full name and initials. Then I will create it to, now I want it to be the first, that will be first initial, then that's the O now. Then I want to add a space, then plus, like the concatenation I thought I just explained. So I just put the plus a space, plus now the second initial. So second initial plus a space also. Then now, okay, let me do that first, plus then the full name. So we'll keep adjusting it just as we follow. Not the full name now, the last name rather. The last name. So shift enter, then let me print what we have. So full name initials. So now we are close to where we are going. So it's not looking like the initials we used to know, right? So let's touch it up. It should have a capital, it should be a capital letter. The O and the P should be a capital letter. So we can actually work towards that by doing this. So now I mentioned something in the second class. Now, as you can see, first name square bracket 0 is still of the data type string, but it's just having just only one character. Now I want to make it, I want that O to be capital letter O, and I want that P to be capital letter P. So there are some methods in string that can be called that will just do this for us straightforward. So now, actually, I've forgotten what the method is. I don't want to get, but I know it's going to be upper. So I just did dot, then I press tab. So if you want to see all the available functions that you can use to manipulate a data type or any variable, just press the tab, or maybe you want to see the available variables for a particular name, just press the tab. So now I want to turn that O to be an upper, so I'll use that method dot upper. Then the same thing also for the other one, upper. So change it to the uppercase now. If I press shift enter now, we can see now O is now capital letter, P is now capital letter. So let me explain again. This extracts the first.
Where did you write the P?
The P.
Yes.
Okay, where did I write it?
Yes.
Okay. If you can look up the middle name as Pelumi.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes. So the upper actually change it to the capital letter, and then it now store it inside the two variable, first initial, second initial. So one last thing now, we will need to add dot to O, in front of O and in front of P. So I want someone to tell me what I will do. So anybody can just contribute. So what can I do to put a dot in front of O and in front of P with just few of the things we've just done?
Instead of in that line we use for concatenation, Instead of putting space in between those quotation marks, we'll put dots there.
Okay, okay. So
Can you hear me?
okay, so let me do that. So I put dot here and I put dot here following Mr. Kayode. So let's run it. So it's looking like it. Then also I want us to play more around it. I want that J to become capital letter, but I want the OSEPH. I want them to remain small letter. So how do we go about that? So with this basic little we've done. Contribution. I don't want to change the first element in this case. Any contribution? Okay. Now that is a bit tedious, not too tedious, but just requiring a little deep depth of thinking deep kind of. So what we will do is just like what we've done, I can just do one small draw. Let me just create a new a random variable and just say let me say first element. Then I'll also collect I'll collect. Okay, before I do that, let me quickly explain something. Take for example, let me come here. If you want to, there's what we call slicing in speech. Slicing is maybe like you have pineapple and you want to slice 40% of it. You want to keep 60% of it fridge, but you only need the 40% of it. So you can actually slice in strings. Take for example, first name is Olawumi. I want to remove I want to remove Wumi from Olawumi. I want to use only the Wumi in that first name. So that's what we call slicing. Or maybe I only want to remove La. I can slice it. If I want to remove only I can slice it. So this is how we slice. So we're actually going to slice here. That's why I want to quickly explain slicing. So we've talked about some few things now. Talk about concatenation. We've talked about indexing in strings. So now I want to talk about slicing. So now I want to slice Olawumi, for example. Now, so if I want to slice it, let me just create a new variable and say sliced first name. So I want us to just be learning the way I'm creating my variable. Anytime I create an extension of an existing variable, I don't want to lose track of the definition of that variable. So such that when you see the new variables I've created from them, you can easily understand what I'm writing. So I want to slice Olawumina. So now all I'll just do is I'll just say first name, which is the variable carrying Olawumi. Now I want to slice from W to I. So now if we can remember what I said, O is representing index 0, L is representing index 1, A is representing index 2, W is representing index 3. So I want to slice Wumi. So that will be 3 from index 3. They will not put column, full column to now where? So now up to, so this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. So let me do 6. So 3 to 6. So let me then print out the sliced so that I can see what is happening. So shift enter. So now it didn't. So now this is how it works. When you are slicing, this will be the starting element. So the answer is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now the last element should be n plus 1. So it should be 7 now. So when I do it now, so we can see now it started the slicing from 3, index 3, up to the last one. So then also So we can actually do that. Then
I think
okay, any question?
no, I just wanted to say I figured out how to do the what you're asking with the last name, with the first letter being capital and the remaining small.
Okay, yes, we are going to do that. So that's what I'm trying to. So, but we understand what slicing is now. So we can further slice it. Maybe I want to slice maybe Ola now. Then I can start from 0. I'm doubting that 0. I'm coming. Okay. Let me try 1. Okay. Yeah. So now we understand the concept of slicing. So we can slice. Then take for example, like that will mean now, maybe you want to slice from maybe index 3 to the end. So I may just use only, I'll just use this way, 3, then the full column. I don't need to put the last index. It will start from that point up to the end. So I press shift enter to start from W to the end. Then maybe I want to start from maybe the beginning to a particular point. All I just have to do is use column, then I will put where I want it to stop. I want it to stop at index. I want it to capture only OLE. So A is 2, so I'll put 3. Like I said, n plus 1. So now I press enter. So it's going to capture only Ola. So that's how you slice. So in this case now, we want to slice the first element now. Okay, we can still use, let me now go back to what we initially want to see. Let me say first element, or first char last name. So be equals to last name. So now dot upper now. So that will capture the first element just as we are familiar with. Then I will now slice the rest now. So let me just say sliced last name. Then I will now do last name. There are various ways to go about it. I will see other ways that are very, very easier. So now I want to take the from O to the end now. So like what I said, I'll just start from 1 to the end. So that will collect OSEPH. So I don't need to convert that to uppercase. So what I just need to do now is I can just create a new variable and say refined last name, and just say equals first last name plus concatenate then sliced last name. So now in this case now, so the last name now will just be refined last name. So now when I print now, as you can see it, right? Hello, are we there?
You can see it, yes, sir.
Yes, I can see it.
So the dot is still kind of close to the J. I can decide to still add some space here. I just have to do is just do the plus, then the space, then I press it. So we've learned the strength of concatenation. We've learned the strength of slicing. We've learned the strength of indexing in strings. So there's one more thing I want to there are many things to learn concerning strings, so many things. Just like the last instructor told us that there are documentations. So we have so many functions, many manipulations we can do with strings. So let's do some more before we. So what will happen is after this class, the documentation for strings will be sent to the channel. So that will be our assignment. We'll go and read the documentation, then we will now play around it. We'll play around it. If, for example, there are so many things we can still do with string. So take for example, maybe I want to let's say I'm doing something. Let me say I'm creating a variable called repeater. Let me say name repeater. That would be a variable name repeater. Name repeated. Not very repeated. It should be verb. Name repeated. So now I want to repeat uh maybe the full name initial. Now I want it to come out 3 times now. I can just do 3 times. That's another powerful thing with Python. 3 times full name initials. Then I will print name repeated now. So now I can we see now. So like multiplied it by 3. So string is very powerful in Python. So by just doing 3 times, normally it's a wrong, but string that's very powerful. So you can actually do that, or maybe you want to know maybe take for example like the way we did upper the other time, we can do lower to get all the lower case. Or maybe I want to know the length of a string now. I can just say print, then maybe full name initials dots. Just like I said, maybe you want to just play around. No, full name initials is actually a string. So there are some methods, there are some stunts you can pull with it. So when you press dot, so just press tab, you see all manner of them. You can see capitalize. Maybe you want to capitalize everything. You can capitalize it with that. Maybe you want to check if it ends with a particular character. You can do that. So what I actually want to do now is I think I want to check the length. I want to check the length. I want to see if I can check the length of it. I'm coming. That will be len. Um, okay, okay. Let me do it this way. So len in the brackets. So that will give me the total length. When I'm talking about length now, that means like the number of characters there. So as you can see now, the length of full name initials is 11. So this is full name initials. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we add the space, 7, 8, add the dot, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are quite number of many things we can do with strings. There are many of it then, but tonight we've talked about the few ones. Then and the last instructor introduced us to something very powerful in Python. That's maybe you want to add tab, you want to go to the next line. So you just need to use \n. So maybe I'm doing something there. Let's just say as it is now, maybe I want the Joseph to appear on a new line. All I just have to do is just do \n here. So shift enter. So as you can see, Joseph jumped to the next line. Joseph jumped to the next line. So there are quite a number of things we can do with strings. So, but we've treated the important ones tonight. So I don't know if there's any question from all we've done tonight. Any question? So there's still more to strings. We'll be doing now. If we can remember, we talked about membership operator. When we're talking
Good man.
about operator in the last class. Take for example, I want to know if there's a particular string or there's a particular character in a string now. All I just have to do is to ask Python. So let's see an example coming. So let's say, as you can see, full name initials. Now we want to know if A is in that. So I'll just say A in full name initials. I'm asking Python, is A as a character, is it inside this string? Now press shift enter. it responded first. So we can remember when I explained in what we're talking about operator. So we can actually go back and check that. So what is just asking Python is A as a character, is it inside full name initial? So as you can see, there's no A here. So let me change this to J. I say J and I press shift enter. True. Yeah, J is actually in that string. So we can play around it that way. So I don't know if there's any other question before we wrap it up for today. So any question?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where we were trying to, when we went through all the sliced initials and everything,
Yes.
sliced full name and all, we're trying to make the who does
I can't hear you properly.
so can we not just put dot title at the back of the process of creating slice last name and every other thing?
Okay.
Like at the after the last name,
Yes.
sir?
I didn't hear you, sir.
Okay, I was saying we're trying to make the first letter capital.
Yes.
The same way we put dots upper at the back of second initial. Can we not just do it for last name too, instead of going through the process of slicing the string?
Yes. Okay, we should do dots. Yes, we can actually do that. So let me try and do what Mr. Kaide is talking about. So I can actually come here and do plus last name. Um, then I'll just do one to this. I don't know if I'm actually right with what you are saying, if it's correct. So let me just try and refactor this. So in programming, when you are trying to work on your code to make it better, maybe you are trying to reduce the activities, the bulkiness of the code. So we call it refactoring. So trying to refactor. So I don't know if I'm actually doing what you said, Mr. K.
No, 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 sir. This is not what I was saying.
Okay, can you rephrase?
Okay, sir. Sir, you know when we're trying to make we're trying to make O and P capital,
Yes.
you put dot upper behind um, first name.
Yes.
I'm saying that behind the last name, like we create that, like behind last name, we can put dot title. The same way we press dots, then tab to bring out the list. If we click title, it will make the first letter bigger and the rest remain the
Okay.
same.
Yes, 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 yes. That's true. So let's try that out. So that's another way. So there are different many ways of doing things. So last name dot title. Okay. So it actually did it for us. That's another way of doing it. So there are many methods, as you can see. So look at the way we went the other way around and we wrote a lot of code, but there exists is a function that actually does it for us without stress. So the more we practice, the more we tend to know the strength of many functions. There are quite many of them. There is split, there's join, there's replace. Maybe you want to replace a particular word in a string with another word. You can actually do that. Take for example, maybe we want to replace. Let's say I want to replace Joseph with another name now. All I just have to do is do full name, initials, full name initials dot, I'll just do dot replace, then what I want to replace in that name, I want to replace Joseph with Kolapo. So let me save it in another variable and just say new full name. So let me print new full name. Okay, so there's a bug there. Okay, so let me come here and remove this, shift enter. So as we can see, you can see the magic in this one now. Using dot replace, you can actually replace a particular name with something else. So all this will actually make use of in data science. So I want us to really take note of them. Let me give us a simple application. Imagine maybe you have stream of data and the company said, okay, for those that are from maybe Egbeda, I want you to replace maybe their value with something else. Maybe they are not paying. Let me use my feed for example. Maybe you have the data sets containing the bill of people in Lagos State, and maybe Egbeda for one reason has broken the law, and Oga said, okay, replace all the costs for Egbeda, replace it with so amount, no matter what they have. So just this simple something, just use it to iterate over each person's data, and it will replace everything. So by God's grace, by Friday we'll be looking through loops. So we'll see much more power of Python. So any other question? We have just a few minutes left. Any other question? So the link for the documentation will be sent immediately after the class. So we need to go and practice. I must confess, we need to go and practice. There's a lot to learn, So the link will be sent to the platform. So let's not only practice when we have assignments. It's very important. And let's not only practice when it's time for class. So we need to code every day to get used to it. So any question before we call it a day for today? Any question? Okay, so this section will be recorded and will be uploaded to the YouTube channel immediately after the class. So let's do it to download to further see how some things were done. So it's nice having us tonight. So this time Friday, Wednesday, we'll be going into conditionals, and that's another beautiful thing itself. So it's nice having us here tonight. So see us on Wednesday. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good night, everyone. Oh.
Good night.
I do.